Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we'll be taking a look into my December 2020 forecast. We'll be looking over the KSUP's model. We'll also take a look for my forecast. It contains temperatures, precipitation, and also the overall forecast. We'll also take a look to the Common Prediction Center's forecast for December as well. Let's first get started with the KSUP's model, and this is definitely something very interesting here. So I'm going to show you guys the geopotential height anomalies here. And the two biggest players for December is going to be the PNA. The PNA is looking to be, say, positive, possibly a strong positive PNA for at least a pretty good chunk of December. And another player is a negative NAO going on just off to the northeast of the northeast United States. When we have these two going on, you usually can get cutoff lows, and sometimes some of these polar jets will likely come down along with a cutoff low. And you can see across the southeast United States, there's actually troughing here across southeast United States. If this verifies, this could be a this could be cold and also possibly very snowy look across portions of the Ohio Valley, portions of the Great Lakes, even as far south as the Tennessee Valley as well. And this is definitely good news for snow lovers out there across the southeast. However, for pretty much the central and western United States, this is a warm and dry look for you guys. Even for portions of Maine, this is a little bit more of a warm look, but you guys could probably see some a little bit more average to maybe a little bit above average precipitation there. But typically, with a setup like this, it's usually warm and dry across the central and western United States, and it's usually cooler than normal, generally the eastern two-thirds. However, we are currently in a La Nina pattern, and this is very unusual for this to happen because this is the El Nino type of pattern, and this is again very unusual to see this. But there's a possibility, probably the last week of December or so, we could see a pattern change, a little bit of a pattern change, and I believe that's going to be by the PNA. I think the NAO is looking to be staying negative throughout the entire month of December. I think it's going to be the PNA that will start to change up later into December. But looking into models with the teleconnections with the PNA and the NAO, it's looking to be likely staying to where it is right now for at least a week or two of December. Third week is still a little bit questionable, but there could be a little bit of pattern change that could occur on the third week of December. Let's take a look at the precipitation anomalies here. You can see here, it's a pretty dry look generally, although I think it's probably underdoing the dryness across probably the mid-Atlantic. Typically, it'll probably be a little bit more average across more of the Mid-Atlantic, even down to portions of the Tennessee Valley, but generally, most of the United States is dry with a pattern like this. Here's well. It's also a little bit wetter than normal across the Northeast, which I think that's pretty likely at this point there as well. But also to keep in mind, I've seen the CFS model last night. It is extremely similar to what the Kansas model is showing, so we got a pretty good agreement with this setup here. So let's go ahead and move on to my forecast here. That's actually the overall forecast. That's precipitation. Let me go and move those around a little bit. So, so this is the temperature forecast, and I'm very spectacle about this potential pattern change probably around week 3 that can change up a lot of these temperatures. There's just some uncertainties with week 3, but what we do know is there's likely going to be some slight above average temperatures across generally the southwest up into most of the Rockies and up into the northern plains and the upper Midwest. Now keep in mind, areas across the northern plains to the upper Midwest around Montana, your guys' average temperatures will still be below freezing, so there's nothing really to worry about with some of these solid above average temperatures, and it's the same way across the far northeastern United States there as well. But areas in the EC, that just means equal chances. There will be times you guys could see some slight above average temperatures and possibly some slight below average temperatures as well, which I think this is a pretty good outlook here as well. The southeastern United States, even portions of the lower Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, portions of the Mid-Atlantic, you also can see some slight below average temperatures. Although there could be possibilities some areas will probably see some below average temperatures as well across these regions, and that's a pretty similar way for this like above average region. I think the better chance for above average temperatures will probably be more across the desert southwest, but I'm a little bit skeptical about some of these cutoff lows that be going through the desert southwest that can create some dynamic cooling, and that can bring some a little bit more average to possibly slightly below average temperature. So that's why I'm a little bit skeptical about that as well, because that's where a good chunk of these cutoff lows are going to be coming from, is portions of the southwest there as well. So that's the temperature forecast. Let's move on to precipitation. Again, nothing really too extreme here, but again, generally most of the United States is a little bit drier than normal with a pattern like this. You can see it goes from the desert southwest down across the several plains, the central plains, the northern plains, portions of the Rockies, the Midwest, portions of the Great Lakes as well. Can at least see some slight below average precipitation across a lot of these regions as well. And again, EC, means equal chances. There'll be times you guys could see some slight below average precipitation or slight above average precipitation, but or you could say this is basically average there as well. And we got pretty good confidence that the northeast United States could see some slight above average precipitation there as well. Although that could get expanded further to the southwest as well, but we're going to see about that. So that's the precipitation forecast. Let's move on to the overall forecast. You can see here at the northwest, a little bit of spectacle about the pattern change probably around week 3, and that's usually the highest uncertainty of making these forecasts. It's generally the last week of the month because that's where uncertainties are very high. So I'm a little bit skeptical about that. And areas in the green: Washington, Oregon, Idaho, central western Montana, and western Wyoming. You guys will see warmer, dry conditions early. That's pretty much expected, but it'll also be turning a little bit chillier and snowier later as well. So just to keep in mind that. Areas in the orange: desert southwest, central and northern plains, the upper Midwest. You guys will likely see some warm and dry conditions there as well. But keep in mind, the northern plains, your average temperatures are still going to be below freezing. So you guys will probably see some snow up there, but it probably ain't going to be a whole lot up there as well. Areas in the pink, portions of the Great Lakes. There will be some snow around some of these regions, but it's also going to be pretty dry as well to keep in mind of that. Areas in the brown here, several Texas up across southeastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, most of Missouri, northern Louisiana, northwestern Mississippi, into western Tennessee. I think it's generally just going to be dry in general. Although there's just going to be some uncertainties here, especially probably when you get into more in the Mississippi Valley. There'll probably be times you guys could probably see some rain, but I think the higher confidence across Texas is at least going to be dry. But there's going to be some uncertainties across some of these regions as well. Areas is blue. I think it's going to be more wintry mix. And And there's also going to be probably multiple chances for snow as well. With a setup like this could be a pretty snowy look across most of these regions, which includes eastern Illinois, most of Tennessee, into Kentucky, Indiana, southern Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, western Maryland, central or western Pennsylvania, and into western New York. Likely be seeing wintry mix. This is really, we'll probably see some rain, we'll probably see some snow, and I'll probably see some sleet and possibly some freezing rain as well. So we'll just put you guys at a wintry mix there as well. Across the southeast, it's looking to be pretty cool. There will be some pretty cold shots at times across these regions as well, which includes southeastern Louisiana, central and southern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, southern Virginia, eastern Tennessee, and also Florida as well. Likely going to be seeing cool conditions. And, going back to my temperature forecast, it's been a long time since I put Florida inside below average temperatures as well. So, if you guys like a little bit more cooler weather down in Florida, this is pretty good news for you guys. Although I don't think you guys won't see any snow for December. I'm sure people are going to be asking that question. And then the last area, which is the Northeast and portions of the Mid-Atlantic, we're going to be seeing stormy at times. There will be times where you guys could see a decent amount of rain. There could be some thunderstorm activity mixed in. It's also going to be a little bit warmer across some of these regions as well. And there's also always going to be a chance for some snow across some of these regions as well. So just to keep in mind of that, and keep in mind your average temperatures is going to be below freezing. Even with slight above average temperatures, it can still be below freezing, which at some point I'm going to have to show you guys the average temperature map for December. So probably what I should have done, but I forgot about that, guys. So I do apologize for that. So that's pretty much my forecast there, folks. And let's move on to the Climate Prediction Center's forecast. So we'll start off with the temperatures, which I do agree some on it. I do agree with generally the central and western United States. I think that's a pretty good agreement. Probably a little bit, I think they're underdoing a little bit of cooler than average temperatures across the southeast. I think it'll likely be a little bit cooler than normal since this is a typical pattern that we see here as well. And keep in mind, guys, if the time making this video, we got a system going on across the Ohio Valley, we could probably see more systems like that. But I'm sure some of them are not going to be the exact same way. But there could be some systems that could be weaker. There could be some systems that could be stronger. So that'd be something we need to watch for there as well. And here's precipitation, which I do agree some with it. I mean, I do agree with the Northeast. Generally, the Western and Central United States, I do agree. Might need to back off the below average precipitation a little bit. Maybe move it back a little bit further west. But overall, I do agree with a forecast. I think it's a pretty good forecast. And I think a lot of those people probably agree with all these forecasts as well. We got a pretty decent amount of confidence for these forecasts as well. But anyways, guys, this is Ark for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys would like this video, hit the like button. If you really do like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.